why you are in custody. You also have the right to the state of Florida versus Natalie Cowie. This is Jackson County case number
23 CF 99.
All right, Mr. Rodolfo is here on her behalf. Ms. Cowie, hello.
Hi, good morning. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. I know we were supposed to see each other this morning, but it's come to my attention that you just got to the Jackson County Jail, okay? Jeannie,
Yes.
somewhat unconventional. She has not been first appeared. Can we go forward with the first appearance? All right. Ms. Cowie, in Jackson County case number 23 CF 99, I'm moving forward with your first appearance at this time. You have certain rights during this first appearance. You have the right to know why you are in custody. You also have the right to an attorney, and Mr. Rodolfo is here on your behalf. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say during this first appearance can be used against you later on at an evidentiary hearing. Ms. Cowie, you are currently being held for allegedly violating the terms of your state probation in Jackson County case number 23 CF 99. In that case, it is alleged that you are that you associated with someone that was engaging in criminal activity, right? And that individual is Arjun Kumar. Because that individual was later arrested for the criminal offense of possession of MDMA ecstasy. And that is why you are in custody. Ms. Cowie, I have ordered that you be held without bond on that charge. And so you will be held without bond until this case is resolved, the violation of probation. Mr. Rodolfo, it's my understanding that you have been speaking with the state and that there may be a resolution, and I'm happy for you to enter your appearance on her behalf.
Thank you, Your Honor. Phil Rodolfo on behalf of Ms. Cowie. I have also filed an appearance through the clerk's office, and we have negotiated a settlement on the alleged violation.
All right, excellent. And counsels, what is that settlement?
Your Honor, it would be to modify, adjudicate her guilty, reinstate all terms and conditions, and she would be sentenced to 90 days in the county jail with credit for 90 days.
Okay.
Your Honor, just a little background. Of course, this was a vehicle traffic stop. The driver was, of course, arrested for possession of MDMA, and she was then arrested for associating with a person engaged in criminal activity. While it's not a low-risk technical violation, this is her first violation, and given that, that's kind of the reason for the state's offer.
Is it below guidelines even, because I want to say that I'll do it,
yeah.
Okay? But I want to say that even her original plea was below guidelines.
Well, she was originally charged with trafficking, Your Honor. And,
Got it.
And part of the trafficking is that Ms. Nakawi was purchasing codeine in a liquid amount, and she was not, the state did not see her as a drug trafficker. This was a user type of case. So we pled her down to simple possession. So she got a deal there.
Got it.
She does have other charges in other counties. But given the nature of this violation, Judge, the state feels that this is sufficient for what has occurred.
Sure. This certainly does feel like the time with me. But
yes.
Natalie, I remember you being in my courtroom. I remember your dad being in my courtroom. Okay.
Yes.
And Natalie, I just can't express to you enough how much we don't get unlimited chances in life, okay? And you have got to stop hanging with people that aren't good for you, right?
Yes,
if that
Donna.
means leaving your area, Dad, if that means moving her out and moving her to a different family. I mean, I'm just telling you, all of us in this room, we deal with people that are battling addiction all the time. And I think all of us would agree that sometimes what we see is the ultimate way that people really do break the cycle is they leave the area. So I would just encourage you, because now I'm seeing, this child is going to be adjudicated a felon, right? She'll be a convicted felon now. Yes, I'll do this. I feel like that's reasonable under the circumstances. But I also see a young woman that I would love to see succeed in life. And if you have family somewhere other than where you are or whatever, maybe get her being around the people she's hanging with, and if you go to the same places, wherever they were using before, wherever, she's going to go down that same path. And I've seen adults with families in this area that have had to leave and leave children and leave all that because they just can't deal with the addiction. So I just don't want to see her back here. That would not be the hope, but I just see her going down a bad path. But yes, I'll take it.
Yeah,
So
it is guidelines.
It is, okay.
Yeah, that is the agreement with the state, Your Honor. I have a plea form here and a score sheet. I believe I gave one to Mr. Rodolfo. I don't know if she was able to execute one for today. The plea offer.
Yes, Judge, I was able to meet with Miss Cowie while she was in custody in another jurisdiction, and we did go over word for word the plea agreement. There has been a signed, both by myself and Miss Cowie, a signed violation of probation plea that was submitted for Your Honor's consideration. I will say, Judge, that while I've had that same lecture with Miss Cowie, I'm happy to report that she has passed all of her drug tests. So it's
Good.
not that she was in a position where she was using with this person. She didn't know what this person had in his pocket, but she does need to make better decisions with respect to who she's hanging out with. What we don't see
You
every
should hang
day,
out
Judge-
only with your father, Natalie.
well, Judge, what
Literally
we-
Yes, sir.
only hang out with your father. I mean, I'm not joking. I know that it's funny, right? I get it, but I'm a parent and I can just imagine the heartache that you are feeling right now. Okay. And seeing your child like this. And Natalie, just hang with him. No one loves you more than him. So just hang with him.
Judge, if I could just say one other thing, the reason that she's in Orlando is because she's finishing her master's program. She's very well educated. She gets great grades, and she's a wonderful young lady. And she's on the right path, and she's going to make the right decisions. And you're not going to see her anymore, Judge.
I sure hope so. I hoped for that last time, and I sure hope for it this time too. Okay, Natalie, you've heard me say I want to see you succeed, but I will absolutely send you to prison if that's what has to happen. And I don't
Yes,
want you
ma'am.
to be misled by me wanting you to do well.
Particular map, this overview, is this the area that you were asked to assist?
Yes.
And I look, we see on there that there's some highlighted portions on there.
Mhm.
Starting from the right, going to the left, the highlighted portion on your right side of this map, what does that indicate?
On the right side over here is the church parking lot. And then in the middle would be where the road ends, then a little cul-de-sac, there's a drop off. And then the final mark would be where the house was,
And what house is that?
where the individual's car was located.
Okay. And this fairly inaccurate represents the area that you searched that day
Yes.
and that you were in that area on May 22nd, 2022.
Yes.
And this is in Bear County, Texas.
Yes.
Judge, at this time, we'll tender to defense for any objections. State exhibit number 25. Offering state exhibit number 25. No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit number 25 is admitted without objection.
Hey, opposed to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
Let me go ahead and zoom in on section here. That is, you said a highlighted portion that is to the right. On this particular map right now, it looks like there's an intersection here of a Viewcrest Road and O'Connor Road. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that highlighted portion is, to your knowledge, is it generally where the initial scene happened, where a shooting occurred?
Yeah, it was a parking lot for the church.
Okay. And if we look on this map, you can tell that there looks like there's a entrance and another entrance exits to the parking lots here and also here. Is that correct?
Yes.
One's on O'Connor Road and then one is on Viewcrest Road. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when you were asked to come to this scene or this area, you were asked to look for what?
A firearm that may have been thrown out of a vehicle.
And so, do you remember what time roughly that you arrived at the scene?
I know the sun had come up, so it was easier. I mean, at night they couldn't look for it, but once the sun had come up, that's when they were asking people to look for it.
So you're there during the day. This happened, the actual shooting happened at nighttime or at dark.
Yes.
So you arrived at this area, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move the map of State Exhibit number 25 and go down Viewcrest. And there's another highlighted portion there. And can you tell the jury this highlighted portion area?
So in that area that where you can see where the road stops, that's a cul-de-sac, and you can see
Right here?
tire, yes. And there were some faint tire tracks there, but I also ended up finding somebody that had a video of that area. And then on the other side, there's a drop off at the end of the road, and there were car parts.
Okay, and so I hear you saying some car parts and some individual about video. Let's just sort of break that down for the jury. Did you end up speaking to somebody in this area right here of that cul-de-sac about a video they may have from their house?
Yes.
And I know that you have a report in front of you, is that correct?
Yes.
And is that a copy of your report that you made for this particular
Yeah.
case?
This would be a copy of the supplement.
And can you just please tell me what the SAPD number associated with this case is?
It's gonna be SAPD 22-10-82-29.
Thank you. And does it indicate the individual that you spoke with that day about the video?
Yes,
And who was that individual?
it
Or
was
what?
Mr. Salazar,
I'm sorry,
Mr. Salazar.
Mr. Salazar. And is that at Xavier Salazar?
Yes.
And does it also list his address?
It's 4818 Viewcrest Road.
And now you spoke with that individual, but did you ever view a video or any type of video that he had?
No, as I recall, he couldn't access it because he didn't have the security code, if I remember right.
And did you give this information to the detective that was in charge of the case to follow up on?
Yes, I put it in my supplement.
Okay. Now, when you speak to him and then you proceed to this cul-de-sac area, the dead end area, and I believe you stated that you saw some things there. Can you please tell the jury what you saw in that area around that dead end?
So it looked like tire tracks, and you can see where the grass had, something had gone through the grass, and then on the other side of the wall, it's like what it would have been like up to my waist, so probably like 4 or 5 foot hollow drop off. And then on the other side, there was just car parts on the street.
And well, let me show you state exhibit number 26 through 32. And if you just go through those and then let me know when you're done. A lot easier.
Yep.
Okay. Now, in each of these are photographs that were, what were these photographs of?
The car parts out there, the roadway, the cul-de-sac, and then I believe one of the measurements for the size of the park.
Okay. And these are photos that, you didn't take these photos, did you?
No, CSI did.
But you were out there when these photos were taken?
Yes.
And do these photos fairly and accurately represent the scene that day?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, the state would be offering state exhibit number 26 through 32. Will tender to defense for any objections.
No objections.
All right, States Exhibits 26 through 32 is admitted without objection.
All right. And Judge, may I publish?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, state exhibit number 26, is this that cul-de-sac area?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then I'm gonna show you what marks state exhibit number 27. Bit here. It's sort of hard to see on this overhead projector,
Yeah.
but what is that showing?
Of the path the car took before it dropped down into this, would have been the Higgins Road next to it.
Now, this road right here, do you know what that road is?
That'd be Higgins Road.
Okay. State exhibit number 28. What is this showing?
That's the drop off and then one of the car parts.
And this is the car parts you're speaking of right here?
Yes,
State exhibit number 29. I guess that's just a same photo that's higher up.
I believe damage to the wall, if I remember right, and then where you can see the impact in the grass.
Okay. State exhibit number 30.
Just car parts.
And that's showing that out of state exhibit number 29 on that wall there, that chip of the wall. Is
I
that?
believe so, yes.
I'm sorry?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And then state exhibit number 31.
Looks like part of the tire from the vehicle.
And
Or
that's on
tire
that
mark.
wall, is that correct?
Yes,
And then state exhibit number 32.
it's a part from a Nissan. You can see in the top left, it's got a Nissan on it.
Just what you're indicating here?
Yes.
Going back to state exhibit number 25. The portion that we were looking at. That cul-de-sac is right here, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that street Higgins is right here.
Correct.
And on this map, this street that leads over this area over in this other neighborhood, what is the name of that street?
Bellcrest,
And Belcrest leads down and intersects, what street name is this?
Buckmore.
And then it leads to this other highlighted portion here that you spoke to the jury about earlier, that you indicated that was the house where the vehicle was found. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, was there a CSI? Did the CSI come to the scene and collect the things from this scene also?
Yes, you did.
And that's the individual that would have taken these pictures.
Yes, sir.
After this particular scene, did you ever find a weapon or a firearm? Did you find any other things of evidence like shell casings or anything else?
No.
So the only thing that you found, or what you'd already testified to about the photograph, these photos, and also about the car parts.
Yes.
And of course, you talked to Xavier Salazar.
Yes.
And then did you ever make another scene associated with this case?
After that, I believe they got a tip on where he might be, and they went to an apartment complex. They found people there. I believe they found him as well. Then they needed people to transport witnesses from that scene to homicide, and then transporting them back.
And so after this, you assisted with just transportation of individuals.
Yes, and then I believe they left the key at homicide, so I had to go back, get the key, bring somebody back, and then get the copy of the warrant as well.
Did a lot of driving that day, to
Yes.
say the least. Okay, so really in that part, you were just more so assisting with just logistics of taking people one place, taking them to another, then also picking up an apartment key and taking it back to the individual that lived in the apartment.
Yes.
But you didn't interview anybody associated with the case, and that's not really your duties. Is that correct?
Yeah, no.
Okay, that would be up to the detectives.
Yes.
Judge, at this time, we'll pass the witness. Everyone's looking at Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Officer, I'm going to show you what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit 75.
Mhm.
If you could take a look at this and let me know if you recognize that.
It looks like a color version of the same map.
Okay, Google Earth version of the same map, basically? Okay. Is it appear to be a fair and accurate representation?
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Okay. Judge Tender, defendants exhibit 75 and offer an evidence.
No,
Any objection?
no objections.
All right, defense exhibit number 75 is admitted without objection. And you may step down if you need to step down to point to things on the map.
Could you let me know if you can see this or if it's a little too?
Yeah, this one's terrible, but yeah, I can see it on that one fine.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. There we go. Oh, yeah, it goes.
Grade school all over.
Figuring out how to use this. Okay. Okay. And so you stated that in defendant's exhibit 75, this appears to be an accurate overhead depiction of the areas that you were involved in this case. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you stated that Viewcrest, let me see here.
You're right there.
Is this street Viewcrest right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Viewcrest does not outlet onto Higgins Road.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. And now the street beyond Viewcrest, what street is this?
The one next to it, that looks like Santa Gertrude.
Let's see.
Gertrudis?
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. For the court reporter, could you spell that, please?
Oh.
Here we go.
SANTA and then GERTRUDIS.
Thank you.
Okay. Now does Santa Gertrudis Street intersect with O'Connor Road?
Yes.
Okay, so if you were traveling north on O'Connor Road, you could turn left on Santa Gertrudis Street.
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar what this building is at the corner of that intersection? And if you're not, it's okay. I don't want you to guess.
I believe it's another church.
Okay. And then beyond that church, does there appear to be a mostly open area? No other structures that we can see immediately in this photo.
Believe at the time, yes.
Okay. And now, as opposed to Viewcrest, Santa Gertrudis does have an outlet back onto Higgins Road, correct?
Yeah, it's a straight shot.
Okay. And then once you're back on Higgins, if you wanted to get back to that house, you said you could still turn on Bellcrest, correct?
Yeah, Bellcrest is the main drive into the
And
neighborhood.
it's a Buckmore, and that's where the suspect vehicle was located.
Correct.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Any redirect?
Can I just have one moment, Judge?
Yes.
Looking at defense exhibit number 75. Let's see, focus. There we go. A little bit better. Looking at this portion here, this is that church parking lot that the shooting happened. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then this is Viewcrest right here.
Mhm.
And that leads to that dead end. Is that right?
Yes.
This, what I think you said you believe is a church, this area right here. Is that correct?
Yes.
On here, does it look like, is that a parking lot there? Or do you know what that is?
I believe it's a parking lot. Yes.
Okay. And I wonder, does any of this exit to Santa Gertrude? Is there an exit on this area?
No, I believe maybe I'm looking at that right here. There's in between the two buildings, there is a driveway through there, but I'm not 100%, but I think there is a driveway that cuts through there.
But in between two buildings?
Yes.
Okay. All right, no, we'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Pass the witness.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. Make sure you leave the microphone. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you all a short recess at this point. There are a couple of cases that I need to take up. It is unrelated to this case. And also someone is supposed to change out the chairs that we have over there for you. Hopefully they will be more comfortable. I'll let you be the judge of that. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. Hi, Michael.
Hello, Judge.
Your client to be brought,
Awesome.
and we'll wait for them to change could you all switch off so we could hear? Thank you. No problem, it happens.
Oh, which these off you said?
No. She has to change the computer and to be brought so that we can hear Mr. DeLeon.
Then I was just gonna put the stickers on the 22 AB.
Are they gonna come in? The chairs?
Yes, they're supposed to, Norma,
The
can you
chairs right
call,
here.
Trevino?
Yes,
Yes, and let her know that we have them on an early break so that they can switch out the chairs. All right, so what if they change the chairs and they're harder than they were before? Deputy Laura, do you think the chairs are gonna be harder than they were before?
Judge. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
we shall see. It's all fluid. Megan,
Yes.
are you able to take the plea on Mr. DeLeon's client? He can come up. Mr. DeLeon, what is your client's name,
Wait,
please?
that's it over there.
Mr. Vargas, Ricardo.
Ricardo Vargas? You need to make sure you're on time for court. No. I mean, I know it happens, but times are times, right? And this is not the first time. I always give people a little leeway when it's their first time coming to court because sometimes you get lost and you don't estimate time correctly. All right, the court is calling. Oh, where's Cindy?
Oh. She stepped out. Let me go.
Mhm.
First. Are y'all changing the chairs out?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I mean,
You can just grab them from there. You just put them in there? Just put them in there.
but they're not secured.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah, we're on the record. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 002405 State versus Ricardo Vargas. Can I have parties announce?
Jason Garrett here for the state.
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Vargas.
And are you Mr. Vargas? All right, do you have any objection to your counsel appearing by Zoom? All right, counsel, did you receive all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor. Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vargas, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on count 2 only. Is that correct?
That's-
Any objection to the waiver of count 1?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Vargas, did you review the court admonishments and admissions with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand the state is proceeding on count 2? That's possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication will revoke, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do. Yes.
Mr. Vargas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
That is correct, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 6 years. There be 200 hours of community service restitution, a TAP evaluation, the MRT course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. Exhibit number 1 with all the attachments.
We reviewed that, Your Honor. We have no objection.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor, going to waive PSI. We would only ask the court, Mr. Vargas is court appointed. I don't know if the court would be willing to probate any of that fine.
All right. So, Mr. Vargas, how old are you? Are you employed? What do you do?
Sales of all our businesses to make a donation for a student literacy program.
Do you have any children?
I do.
What are their ages? All right. Do you have contact with them?
Yeah. This training. I was.
All right. So how often have you been using?
I was usually pretty often whenever, cause my mom passed away, so like it was like kind of like. That's how it happened, but I actually stopped on the 1st of January.
So if you're drug tested today, what are the results gonna be?
Yeah, no, I won't be, very, I have, I've been going to classes and stuff.
How often have you been going to classes?
Not very often, but I mean, I've started and,
See,
but I mean, like, I have, everyone that I work with is actually in, like they're, in, I guess, you know, not using stuff, they're going to classes, they're living in sober living houses and I mean, I just really don't have any walk to me because I mean, it's like the life that I'm trying to live and it was just like a mistake, misjudgment on my end.
All right, not mistake. We're making choices here, right? Because I read the police report. In the police report, they saw your cell phone, and in your cell phone, you were asking somebody if they wanted to go come smoke. So these were choices that you were making. So you need to figure out the reason you're making the choices that you're making and do a course correction, because otherwise you're looking at potentially 20 years in the prison. Now, if you have a drug or alcohol problem, I will give you programs that will perhaps help you with this. All right, you understand?
Not, I did have a problem, but like, I mean, this was like a year and a half ago, and so like, I mean, I just thought that I definitely like had time to realize that get myself out of it. Luckily,
All right, I'm gonna have you drug tested today. Ms. Abrams, can you call and see if they can have him drug tested today? All right, there's a $2,000 fine. It's going to be probated, 6 years deferred adjudication. Proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There's going to be a TAP evaluation out of custody if you're negative. If you're positive, then you're going to come back to this court and you're going to do the TAP evaluation in custody. Do you understand?
what is that?
Oh, that means that what's going to end up happening is you're going to leave from this courtroom. You're going to do a UA. There are people who will test you today. And if you are positive, you're going to come back here. You're going to go in custody and they're going to do the TAP evaluation in custody. Well, I mean, what is your results going to be? All right, so why didn't you just say that in the beginning?
Trouble.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. I ask these questions, and the reason why I ask these questions normally is to see where you are in the phase of your sobriety. And so you're not sober at all. The AA meetings, the NA meetings that you're doing, you're not actively participating in them, because if you were, if you felt like you were going to use, that's when you use your tools, you pick up the phone and you call your sponsor or you go to an AA meeting, right? So what will you be positive for? And what else? All right, so how often are you using?
Like every few days. So often.
All right. And here's the thing, we're all on our journey to try to become better people and live clean, sober lives. So where you are today, and I would tell my clients this all the time, where you are today, hopefully that's not where we're going to see you 10 years from now. You're still in the same place. All right. So I'm going to set your conditions. The conditions I'm setting for you are so that you hopefully can maintain your sobriety. Because if you're using drugs, only one or two things going to end up happening. Either you're going to be in and out of somebody's jail, in and out of prison, or somebody's going to have to come and identify your body. And I don't think you want your 19-year-old for them to call him up and say, we need a body identified. You understand? All right. So there's going to be a $2,000 fine, probated, 6 years deferred adjudication, proof of employment within 30 days of release, no employment as a home health care provider with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, 90 sober meetings in 90 days, This is what I want done in custody. A TAP evaluation, a referral to felony drug court. And then there's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. 200 hours of community service restitution. 100 hours will be deducted upon completion of the MRT course. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You need to be 100% honest with felony drug court. It's a difficult program, but it's a good program. You need to be 100% truthful with the TAP evaluation, because I'm trying to give you the tools you need so that you will not potentially end up going to prison for 20 years. You understand? And, other courts, I don't know what they're doing, but it is best for you to be honest with me if you have a drug or alcohol problem, because I can tell you in this court, probation wants you to get help, the state wants you to get help, and your attorney wants you to get help. This is no one trying to trick you. You understand? All right. And make sure you're on time.
Yeah. So like the evaluation is going to be done in custody.
Yes.
So that means like I'm going to be in jail.
In custody, yes. And I can tell you the felony drug court evaluation, because it's Thursday, they'll probably have it completed by next week. Probably Wednesday, they'll know if they're going to accept you or not. But I can tell you this, if you're dishonest about your drug problem, they're not going to accept you.
Will I be able to go home today?
No,
No.
no. Really?
No.
I mean, this is what I want you to internalize and understand. You came before me and you looked me straight in my eye and you told me, I've been doing well. I haven't used since January. I could look at you, and based upon what I see, I knew you were going to be positive. I was just waiting for you to tell me. And then when I said, oh, we're going to do a UA today, I'm going to send you today to do it, you were still like going on as though the UA today wasn't going to happen. And then when probation was on the phone, because you knew it was going to happen, then finally you come clean.
Trying to go back to work. I just have like.
Nobody wants a salesperson who's using meth every other day.
I'm trying to keep better. I just feel like going back to jail is not going to do.
Is continuing to use every other day going to do you any good? No.
If I was in preparation when I took the drug test.
Let me ask you this. Did you know you had court today?
I did.
All right, meth doesn't stay in your system that long. To me, what you should have been doing is saying, you know what? I know I have court today. I'm going to be on time for court. And the week before, I'm not going to do any drugs because I want to have a negative UA. You can do that. You're in the throes of your addiction. And sometimes when people are in the throes of their addiction, they can't even tell the truth to themselves. And right now, I'm going to have to help you and stop the madness that's going on in your life. Otherwise, who knows? You may end up with a bad batch of meth, because let me just tell you, it's not FDA approved. Nobody's in their garage making meth and saying, let's make sure we don't get any rodent droppings in this. They don't care. They just want a customer. You're going to pay for it. And if you end up dying, they're not going to be saying, oh, let's hold a visual for you because you died. They're going to be like, okay, next one.
Your Honor, my dad's 82, my truck is parked in the garage.
So let me ask you this. Why didn't you think about your father being 82 when you were getting ready to use?
I didn't think that I was going to be drug tested today, and I felt like I would be able to like be clean by the time. I know I'll be clean. I mean, can we just like give me 4 days to go see the?
No.
Okay, come on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. All right. Mr. Contreras, who is your client? Attorney Contreras?
You're right.
All right. Isaac Valle. Well, I mean, you know what? There's no trap door. I'm just trying to figure out how I can help you. Which one? Oh, they need to fingerprint you just a moment. And then I will take your case up.
On
Yes.
the actual trial case,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be on record, that's tough, but that's not that. I'm making sure for logistically tomorrow. Are we going from 9 to 5 or?
We're gonna start. All right, we're back on the record. Court is calling 2025 CR 003678 State versus Isaac Joel Valles. Could I have parties announced?
Jason Garahan for the state draw. George. Draw.
And are you Mr. Valles? Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Mr. Valles, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment? State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay, counsel. He doesn't have a right to appeal, but he also waives his right to appeal in the, well, you cross that out. Okay. So, Mr. Valle, did you review the court admonishments? Oh, if you can just grab another one.
Yeah.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it, sign it in all the appropriate places? You're charged with evading arrest, detention, or vehicle. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I did.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I-
Mr. Valles, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page? With your attorney, did you understand that? According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrently with the misdemeanor case, UCW. The state will take in consideration 2024 PF 28380 and 2024 CR 008616. Does anyone know the case number to the case that this is running concurrently with?
It's a. Yeah, Judge, it's a UCW, but let me see if I have my.
It should be on the
It should
docket,
be on
sheet, but I don't know what my docket is.
Oh, I have it in my back.
7338080.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
CC 7338080.
Thank you. So that will run concurrent with CC 7338080. Any objection to the court writing in the cause number?
No objection. No.
All right. So you understood that to be the plea? Defense is that the plea?
It is.
State?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No motion.
All right, outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Exhibit number 1 with office attachment. No objection.
Did you review the, state you may be excused? Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. Court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Mother's here, I've got to know her.
Mhm.
All I can say is hard work. He works for a family business.
Mhm.
He's there all the time. He's a master mechanic. He learned from his dad.
Mhm.
And it's that lack of work is the #1 indicator of mischief.
Mhm.
So I think we have that going. But he has a problem with these 2 things.
Okay. So what are you going to be positive for? All right. How often are you using? And how much is it now? All right. Do you have any children? That's a good thing because you're not ready for that yet. So who is the person that you love most in this world? All right. So I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes people can't stop using, right, for themselves. You're really supposed to do it for yourself. But I always tell people, if you can't stop using for yourself, then stop using for your parents. All right? Because I'm sure that's breaking your mom's heart. I'm sure that's breaking your dad's heart, right? And I'm going to tell you what I told the person before me. Only 1 or 2 things going to end up happening if you continue to use. Either you're going to be in and out of jail, in and out of prison, or either your parents are going to be the ones who have to identify you. Do you understand? So you're going to have to follow these conditions. I'm going to let you do your TAP evaluation out of custody because you were honest with the court, but you cannot use. You understand? Because the last time you use may be the last time you use. So what are you doing with your life right now? What are your work hours?
5.
All right. And who are you hanging around with? So whoever you're hanging around with that's causing you to use, and I say causing you to use, I say that loosely, but sometimes when you're around certain people, when they tolerate certain things and don't try to check you and say, this is not the right thing to do, you're going to have to cut them loose. With drugs, you have to change people, places, and things. So anyone who is not with you on your path of sobriety, you're going to have to leave them behind because you're not in a phase in your life where you can stop, using yourself. So you can't help anybody yet. You understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's going to be 6 years deferred adjudication. If you show me something, I'll consider releasing you early. You understand? This is going to run concurrent with CC 733080, taking consideration 2024 CR 008616, 2024 PF 28380. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And that may change once you have proven to me that you can be clean and sober. The reason why I put that there is because I don't want you to have a bad influence on any minors. You understand? There's going to be a $2,000 fine that will be probated, 200 hours of community service restitution. So are you certified as a mechanic? All right. It's 200 hours community service restitution. If you obtain some sort of trade school certification in whatever field you want, or some sort of higher level of education, the court will deem the 200 hours of community service restitution satisfied. So it's up to you. Do you want to be working in the San Antonio heat, or do you want to be bettering yourself? And I consider when people are on probation here, if they better themselves, that's service to the community. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. I'm going to make you take the aggressive driving course. There's to be a TAP evaluation and a referral to felony drug court out of custody. You need to be 100% honest with felony drug court. You understand? It's a good program. It's a hard program, but they'll be able to help you. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? Because this plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Mom, in this court, when people are placed on probation, I want them to be successful. Yes. So this is what I can tell you. In this court, everybody's agreed that they want him deferred. So everybody wants him to be successful in life. I want him to be successful in life. I don't want to have to see him for a motion to revoke. I don't want to have to potentially send him to prison. So in order for him to be successful on probation, he has to stay on the straight and narrow, and communication is key. If you see where he's falling off or venturing off, call probation. The defense will tell you that what I usually do when somebody falls off, it's sort of like they're getting too close to the line and they're not doing well. I'll set it for a compliance hearing, and I'll try to redirect them, change the course, but we'll give them that chance here. You understand? So if you see something is going wrong with him, let your attorney know, let probation know, so we can see what we can do to help him. Okay. And is there anything else he needs other than what I've ordered for him? Does he need a curfew with you? All right. All right. When do you want his curfew at? When do you want him in the house? All right. When you live with your parents, you live by your parents' rules. We're back on the record. And Isaac Valles, he has a curfew of midnight. So you need to be in the house all the time at 12 a.m. And here's the thing, we're off the record. Nothing good happens after midnight. If you're still up after midnight, that means you have insomnia, or either you're getting into trouble. All right. Thank you for telling me that, Mom. And if there's something else you need, just let probation know. And your mom is trying to help you. And if you think there's somebody he shouldn't be hanging around, let us know that too, because I'll put a no contact order in there. All right, thank you. Thank you. Have a good one. All right, so Norma, the people who are not here are Walter Miranda and Vanessa Rubio, so we'll take that up on a different date. All right, if you'll give me the dates for those two.
Are we done for right now?
Yes,
Just gonna run and get some water and go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay. Does anyone need to use the restroom? Now's the time because I'm gonna bring the jury back in no later than 3:30. Maybe see it. Or are you testing the chairs? Okay. It took a little longer than we anticipated to change them out. Back row, those chairs haven't been changed yet, but we're getting there. All right, everyone, please be seated and state there was a relabeling you wanted
Yes,
to do.
Your Honor. So the state moves to relabel what was previously State's Exhibit number 22 as the big envelope as State's Exhibit number 22, and the two interior envelopes that were labeled in Sergeant Pearson's report as E1 and E15 as 22A and 22B.
All right, any objections to those relabeling?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then entered into evidence will be State's Exhibit number 22, 22A, and 22B. All right, State, you can call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the state calls Officer Landon Aronofsky.
All right, there's a silver microphone up there. If you can make sure you put that somewhere in your lapel. It's for the court reporter here.
Does that work?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for record and spell your last name.
I'm Landon Urbanowski. My last name is URB as in boy, ANOWSKI.
All right, State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, can you just please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, I'm Officer Landon Urbanowski,
And who do you currently work for?
the San Antonio Police Department.
How long have you worked for the San Antonio Police Department?
Coming up on 4 years.
And did you have to go through certain training experiences to become a police officer?
Yes, sir.
And can you briefly just tell the jury what those training experiences that you had to do?
The initial training is 9 months in the police academy, and then after that, you go through an FTO period that's about 3 months.
And are you a Texas certified police officer?
Yes, sir.
And currently, what are your duties as an officer?
I'm currently assigned to the DWI unit.
And you said the DWI unit,
Yes, sir.
driving while intoxicated unit?
Yes, sir.
And what shift do you work?
It's the DWI shift. It's from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.
And so, I'm sorry, 8 p.m. to 8,
to 6 a.m.
okay, 6 a.m. So you work I guess what you call the night shift, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, I'm assuming that's when most DWIs happen, right?
Yes.
All right. So you've been working, I know you worked last night, the night before, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and go to the date of May 22nd, 2022. Were you dispatched to a scene on the early morning hours of that day?
Yes, sir.
And is there an SAPD, a number associated with this incident that you were dispatched to?
Are you referring to that case number?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And did you make a report for this case?
I did. I made a supplemental.
And you have that in front of you right now?
No.
Okay. And can you just briefly look over that sheet and tell me if that's a fair and accurate copy of your report?
Yes, sir.
And just to let you know, you can look at it, refresh your memory and everything. Please don't read directly from it. It's not in evidence and it won't be entered into evidence. Do you know can you tell the jury what the SAPD number or case number associated with this case is?
It's SAPD 221082229.
Thank you. Now, this happened on May 22nd, 2022. Why were you dispatched to this to a certain area in San Antonio?
Initially, a officer in trouble came out citywide.
And do you recall the area of town that you were dispatched to?
Yes, it was the north side of town.
And did you make it to that area that you were dispatched to?
Yes.
And what were you tasked to do at that time?
Initially, I responded to the scene of the officer in trouble. And then from there, once we knew that the officers were okay, we went out to look for the suspect vehicle that was advised to us.
And did you have a description of the suspect vehicle?
I believe at the time they just said it was like a white SUV or something along those lines.
And at that time, when what just explain to the jury what y'all are doing? Y'all go door to door, or do you drive around the area? What are y'all doing?
At that time, we were just driving around the surrounding areas. It was off there off of O'Connor, so we were kind of staying within what we would call the 32 side, but it's the like northeast side of town. Kind of everything from 35 upwards to 1604 and then over to 281.
And at any time, did you have contact with an Officer Garcia, badge number 0680?
Yes.
And were you, why were you making contact with that officer?
Initially, him and I were responding to a separate call for service, and we were driving to that when the tone out came out. And due to it being a much more serious incident, we rerouted to that.
And did you ever make contact with an Officer Gonzalez, badge number 0110?
Yes.
And tell the jury about making contact with that individual and why.
Officer Gonzalez advised he believed he found the vehicle that was involved in the shooting incident, and I relocated to him to assist him.
And do you recall the address of that location that you made contact with Officer Gonzalez?
4514 Buckmore Street.
Sorry, what?
4514 Buckmore.
Buckmore. Okay, thank you. And did you arrive at that scene?
Yes.
And what did you see at that scene?
There was a white SUV parked in a driveway, and the back windshield was shattered out.
And tell the jury, what do you do at that moment? Do you just approach, knock on the door, or what are y'all doing then?
When we first started, I think initially we were setting up a perimeter around the vehicle to make sure there was no immediate threat that would sneak up on us while we were trying to investigate the car.
And tell the jury, where was the vehicle parked?
It was in a driveway of the house.
And was it parked at, like, just in the driveway? Was it in the middle of the driveway? Was it parked, I guess, straight into the driveway?
Yes, it was pulled into the driveway, not like reversed in.
And was the vehicle, what was it, on or was it off?
I believe it was turned off. I believe the driver's side window was still down. The back windshield was shattered out, and I believe there was damage to the right side of the car.
And did you ever approach the vehicle?
Yes.
And was anybody in the vehicle?
No.
Was there anybody outside of the vehicle standing around?
No.
Were there any objects of any type of interest on the outside of the vehicle, meaning on the ground around it?
Not that I recall.
What about, were you able to see inside the vehicle anytime?
Yes.
And any things of interest for this case found or seen from the outside into the car?
There was shell casings on the driver's side floorboard, and then I believe a name tag was left on the passenger seat.
And do you recall what the name tag, what the name was on the name tag?
Tyler.
And of course, you already mentioned the shattered back window.
Yes.
Now, just to your eye and just through your experiences, did the back window, the shattered glass or shattered window, did it look like it was relatively new, or did it look like it'd been there for a while?
It looked relatively new.
And if the vehicle, did you test the vehicle to see, I mean, is there any way to test the vehicle to see if it had just been driven or not?
At one point, I hovered my hand over the hood, and you could feel the heat emanating off of it.
And what does that indicate?
That the car had just recently been operated, that the engine was still producing heat from it, hadn't cooled off yet.
And at that particular time, did you do, what was the process that the SAPD did go through at that point with this vehicle?
Initially, we didn't know if whoever was operating the vehicle was still there, if they were inside the house that it was parked in front of. So we kind of set up a quadrant around the area to wait to kind of see what was going on inside the house. SWAT ended up coming out, and it turned into almost like a standoff, but not just kind of waiting to see if we could get any kind of movement coming from the house. And then eventually SWAT pulled the vehicle out of the driveway, and it was towed off.
And did you stay at the location until somebody came out of the house, or what were your duties at that point?
Eventually I was assigned to stay with the vehicle. So once the vehicle was removed from the driveway, I assisted in the towing process, and I followed it down to where our secure facility is after the vehiel.
And that secure facility is at the ninth, I guess, the 9th Street,
Yes,
I guess, storage area?
Yes, sir.
And at that point, did you have any other duties associated with this case?
Outside of that, no, sir.
Now, what was it part of your duties to investigate or search the vehicle on the inside?
No.
Were your duties to do anything else other than secure that area and then follow the vehicle to the 9th Street storage facility?
That's correct. That was it.
I'm going to show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 33. And it's an envelope, but inside that envelope is a disc. Do you recognize that disc?
Yes, sir.
And how do you recognize that disc?
It has my initial signature and date.
And what is pertained on this disc?
My body cam video from that night.
And does it fairly and accurately represent that night?
Yes.
It's been muted for purposes of this case, but other than that, has it been changed in any way?
No, sir.
Judge, at this time, the state offered state exhibit number 33, tendered to defense for any objections. No objection. Yeah.
All right, State's Exhibit number 33 is admitted without objection.
And again, Judge, my technical skills are not the best, but I have downloaded and we've already tried it to the hard drive on the computer. I just ask if there's any objection, Judge, that we use the actual copy from the actual computer, exact copy.
That's fine, Judge.
All right, no objections?
No.
All right.
Any objection to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
And officers, can you describe to the jury what we're looking at right now?
This is my body cam video.
And so your body cam, do you have a body cam on right now?
I do.
And can you just stand up and just show the jury where that body cam is?
Sorry for that. Typically, there's a magnetic mount that mounts right here to the chest. The inner sleeve of it goes under the shirt, and then the magnet goes to the outside, and it's typically sits right about here. Different officers wear different places, but I typically keep mine centered there.
Okay, thank you, officer. I appreciate that. But that's why we're looking at steering wheel and the windshield and everything. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. For the purposes of just time, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this to the media player at 48 minutes and 31 seconds. And now tell the jury what we're looking at now.
This was when we were initially trying to set up a perimeter around the vehicle in question here. If I stand up, you'll see momentarily. It's directly in the direction I'm facing. It's directly in front of me there. And I'm behind a neighboring truck.
And so if you pause. Can you just tell the jury what vehicle that were of interest here?
So directly, the way my video is facing here, that white SUV in the driveway there.
I'm sorry.
The white SUV.
Okay, so roughly there we go. We're toggling over that portion now.
Yes.
Go ahead. And I see that your weapon is drawn. Why is your weapon drawn?
Just due to the circumstances of from what we were advised at that time, it was an officer involved shooting, and the suspect was believed to be armed.
And we're going to go ahead and fast forward to 55 minutes and 48 seconds. 55:40. Is this that same vehicle that we saw previously in your body cam video?
Yes, sir.
And can you describe to the jury what we're looking at right now?
That's the back of the vehicle listed in this incident here. It's a white SUV, and then as you can see, the back windshield is shattered out, and then there's damage to that back right quarter panel.
I don't know if I can't really read that license plate, but if we go ahead and play. And it looks like, NVX, is that a 0535?
NVX or NYX 0535 is what it looks like to me.
I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to 1 hour, 15 minutes and 19 seconds. 1:15, 19. And during this time period, does anybody exit the house that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And again, there's several you officers around this area and watching the car and watching the house.
Correct.
And then go ahead and fast forward to 1:19:44. We're gonna fast forward to 1:19:44. Need to pause it real quick. And it seems that you're speaking to a vehicle or occupants of a vehicle outside. I'm not gonna ask you what you spoke with them about, but those people came up upon the scene. Were they suspects or were they witnesses of anything of this case?
No, they were people who lived in the neighborhood.
And then let's just go ahead all the way down. And explain to the jury what you're looking at here.
Sorry, the screen is really clear. It's even hard for me to see.
You can look up to the back right.
Or either you can step down.
This is here at 9th Street Brown. This is when the vehicle is being dropped off at the secure facility.
And it would have shown on your body cam that you were driving, following the vehicle to the pound.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have any other duties associated with the case other than what we've seen and what we've talked about in front of the jury at this point?
Nothing that was of super pertinence or anything like that. When I was on scene at different times, they asked me to do small things here and there, but nothing of great substance.
You didn't interview any witnesses or the suspect or anybody else?
Correct.
Oh, thank you. We'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, good afternoon, Officer Urbanati.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
So you stated that you were that currently you're assigned to DWI task force. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So I would assume a lot of that involves night shift work, correct?
Correct.
And I would assume that in your experience as a DWI task force officer, you come into contact with many intoxicated individuals.
Correct.
And what time do the bars typically close in San Antonio and Bexar County?
It depends what day. The kind of average would be 2 a.m., but on certain weekdays, a lot of bars will close at midnight. But 2 a.m. is generally the normal one for weekends and stuff like that.
Bars are forced to close at 2 a.m., correct?
They're supposed to.
And so would you agree that after 2 a.m., as a DWI task force officer, typically there will be a greater influx of intoxicated drivers on the road at that point?
For a certain time period, yes.
You mean for a certain time period after 2 a.m.?
It'll taper down. It doesn't substantially increase and keep going for forever, but there's an influx typically when we call it bar breakout, but just past 2 a.m. when everyone's leaving the bars.
Okay. What time does this bar breakout period usually last?
You kind of start seeing an influx in traffic, I would say probably between 1:30 and then it'll start slowing down again 2:30 and onwards.
2:30 AM and then
Yes, correct, in the mornings.
and then
Yes,
taper off at that point.
yes,
Okay. And you stated you've come into contact with many intoxicated individuals.
yes.
Correct. Okay. Not everyone plans a safe ride home, unfortunately.
That's why I have a job. Yes, sir.
And intoxicated individuals, they have decreased reaction time, correct?
Correct.
Usually decreased decision making.
They can. Yes,
Okay. And decreased sense of direction at times, correct?
they can. Yes,
Okay. One of the standard questions in your DWI questionnaire is, do you know where you are right now?
yes,
Correct? And sometimes intoxicated individuals, when you pull them over, won't even know where they're at, correct?
sometimes. Yes,
Okay. And sometimes they'll think they're at a location that they're not, correct?
sometimes. Yes,
Intoxicated individuals' eyesight can also be impaired, correct?
yes, it can.
That's why one of the tests that you perform is the horizontal gaze nystagmus.
Yes,
And with that test, I won't go over the whole thing, but with that test, the basic theory is you're looking at whether or not the muscles in the eyes have lost a little bit of their control, correct?
yes,
And even approaching the legal limit or right at the legal limit, you'll be able to notice nystagmus.
not necessarily. No.
Not with every individual.
Well, no. If someone's under the legal limit, it's possible they wouldn't have nystagmus. Possible, but
Okay.
not
It's,
always.
it's one of a series of clues that you look for, correct?
Yes,
And there's 6 clues under the nystagmus exam, correct? That you're
Yes.
looking for. And individuals, even right around the legal limit, right at a 0.08, will still indicate possibly some clues of nystagmus.
yes. Nystagmus should be present.
Okay. And intoxicated individuals are sometimes they make wrong turns. Is that correct?
Are driving wrong turns?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Sometimes that can be fatal.
it can. Yes,
Okay. Like wrong way on the highway.
yes,
Okay. Now, you stated that, and we saw on the video that you responded to Buckmore. Was that right? That was the street located the white SUV at.
yes. Buckmore Street.
Okay. But directly before that, after you left the church, you relocated to Nacogdoches, correct?
Yes,
And you relocated to Nacogdoches because officers had a suspect in custody, correct? For somebody they thought might have been involved.
they were trying to detain someone they believe was a suspect in it.
Was that individual was driving a white SUV as well?
I don't recall. I believe he was like a street vendor or something like that.
Okay. Would it help your memory to refer to your report?
And to which specific question are you referring to?
So you said this was like a street vendor? Is that what you said?
I don't. That's what it looked like to me when I first pulled up. He was on the part of Nacogdoches. There was like a little setup there, from my memory, but I don't know what his exact occupation is.
But you reload. So you responded. I guess let's back up. You responded to the officer involved shooting at the CT church first, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so that was the first location we're at.
Yes.
And other officers were handling the scene there, correct?
Yes.
And then, so your next, I guess, course of action was to assist in attempting to locate the suspect vehicle.
Correct.
Correct. And the very next location that you go to is Nacogdoches Road.
I believe I was driving around, but the next like serious point of interest where I went to was Nacogdoches. Yes, was to where they were advising they might have had a suspect.
When you state in your report, while searching, I was informed that other assisting officers may have located the suspect vehicle off Nacogdoches Road. Is that correct? And when you say the suspect vehicle, you mean the suspect vehicle involved in this officer involved shooting?
It was a possible vehicle. They believe that they might be involved at that
A
time.
possible vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. And it had already been toned down over to the radio that the suspect vehicle was a white SUV.
It was put out over the radio. It wasn't toned out. But
Okay, it was put out over the radio.
yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
Meaning that all the officers were aware that that was the description of the vehicle that you all were looking for.
Yes.
And so you stated that, I guess I'll back up. In that video, we looked at you looking inside the white Nissan Rogue on Buckhorn, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I believe you stated you saw a couple shell casings inside the vehicle,
Yes, the driver's side floorboard.
the driver's side floorboard. Okay, may I approach the witness, Judge?
Yes.
I think am I on 76? The exhibits?
Yeah, you're last one. I'm sorry.
Yes, you're on 76.
Okay, Officer Bernatson. I'm gonna show you what I've marked as defendants exhibits 76 through 79. Do you recognize these?
No.
If you could look at all the exhibits before you answer.
Yeah, I haven't seen these pictures before now.
Okay. That's not a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw when you looked into that white SUV?
It does look like the interior of the SUV, but if you're referring to these photos, I have not seen these photos before now.
I'm not asking if you've seen like these photos, if you've taken these photos. To be fair, all I'm asking you is, are these fair and accurate depictions of the same thing that you saw when you looked into the driver's side of and looked onto the floorboard of that white Nissan Rogue?
I mean, for the most part, yes, but I mean, from where I'm at, I can't get exact angles as these pictures were taken.
Okay, so are you stating that this is not the driver's side floorboard of that white SUV?
It does look like it, yes, sir.
It does look like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just where I'm at, looking inside of a car.
Okay.
When you're asking me, that there's certain angles here that I wouldn't be able to see from the outside of a car. Like,
Okay.
for example, this one appears to be from the driver's seat, which obviously I couldn't really access at that point, but yes, it does look like the interior of the SUV.
But on the video we saw, you were looking into the driver's side, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
The window was down?
Yes,
Okay, and you were able to look down.
yes,
So you did see the driver's side floorboard in the white SUV.
yes.
And defendant's exhibit 76, does that depict a driver's side floorboard?
Yes,
Okay. Is that the same driver's side floorboard that you saw on May 22nd, 2022?
I believe so.
Okay. Is it a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night?
Like I said previously, it's kind of hard for me to tell you directly, yes, because I wasn't in this exact angle, but yes, it looks like the same
Okay.
floorboard.
Where you followed the vehicle back to when it was processed, correct?
Correct.
And did you look inside the vehicle at all when it was processed too, or you were just basically assisting in the transport of the vehicle?
I don't believe I did. No, I don't believe I did while I was there now.
Okay. Judge, I would tender defendant's exhibit 76 to the state and offer an evidence.
Well, Your Honor, this officer just can't testify to this particular accuracy of this picture. Other witnesses may be able to.
Okay.
All right, if y'all come forward, please.
So defense, are you withdrawing the exhibits as it relates to this witness?
Yes, Judge, I am.
So that's defense exhibits 76, 77, 78, and 79. will be withdrawn as it relates to this witness only. Does everyone understand? All right, you may proceed.
That's the witness, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may step down. Just make sure if there's any exhibits that you leave them with the court report, and please leave the microphone as well.
Thank you. Do you want the report up here? Would you like it
You can
back?
leave it there, I'll get it.
Uh, Is this witness excused?
Yes, Judge, he is.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. State, call your next witness.
The state of Texas calls Joe Rodriguez, Your Honor.
Sir, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury and everyone can hear. If you'll state your name for the record.
My name is Joe Rodriguez.
All right, stage, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Rodriguez, can you please just introduce yourself to the jury?
Joe Rodriguez. I'm a crime scene investigator for the San Antonio Police Department.
And as you stated, a crime scene investigator for the San Antonio Police Department. How long have you been an investigator for, or crime scene investigator for SAPD?
24 years.
Huh?
24.
24 years. I thought you said 44, and I was like, very good. All right. Can you just tell the jury briefly what entails being a crime scene investigator for the San Antonio Police Department and your duties?
Our duties are to identify, document, collect, and preserve physical evidence at crime scenes. We are also charged with recording the conditions of the crime scene and evidence contained therein. We use videography, sketching, photos, 3D scanners,
Okay,
various methods.
So several different things
Yes.
entail that. And at any one particular crime scene, do you do all of that, or do you do just like certain duties that are assigned to you?
Sometimes all, but usually just certain duties.
And do you have to go through certain training to become a crime scene investigator?
Yes, when we are hired, we are sent to a 3-month, well, back then it was evidence technician school, but it's a crime scene investigator school now.
And
Approximately 3 months.
I'm sorry, I don't want to talk over you because I know the court reporters trying to get down and we can't speak at the same time. And so do you also, I'm assuming 24 years on the job, you have some experience also, including with that training, is that right?
Yes.
So I'm going to go back to May 22nd of 2022. Were you tasked with processing a vehicle associated with case number 22-108229?
Yes.
And I see that you're looking down at something up there. Do you have a copy of your report up there?
I do, yes.
And tell the jury what's it, one, where did you process this vehicle at? Was it a certain location?
Yes, we have a vehicle garage. It consists of 3 stalls, vehicle garages. It's a controlled, secure environment to where we can process vehicles. We have supplies there and shelter and various tools and packaging materials and so forth.
And this particular vehicle, was it just you tasked with processing the vehicle?
No, it was not.
Who else was also processing this vehicle?
Detective Perez.
And is that also an individual with the crime scene unit for SAPD?
Yes, he's one of our detectives in the unit.
And do y'all work in unison to process this particular vehicle on that particular day?
Yes.
And tell the jury what things that were found that are of interest in this vehicle.
Casings were located, or a casing, a live round, some name tags, some bank cards. There was some damage to the vehicle, apparent bullet damage. There was some receipts. I think Detective Betters took swabs at various areas of the vehicle and so forth.
And if you need to refresh your memory at any time with your reports, you may. Because for this particular case, did you review your report and did you also review Detective Perez's report?
Yes.
Okay. And you also brought in some items today and some items that were collected that day. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And I want to go ahead and approach you and ask you, I'm going to show you what state exhibit number 52. And do you recognize that?
Yes.
And how do you recognize that?
They have the case number, Detective Bettis's signature and initials.
And what is it?
This contains a casing and a live round.
Okay, and state exhibit number actual 52, it has a sticker on it, and this envelope entails 2 different other envelopes. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it's been opened, but can you open and reach inside of it and take out the envelopes that are inside? And At this time, Judge, I'm gonna go ahead and mark these. If you don't mind, Judge, I could mark them 52A and 52B.
All right, so you have States Exhibit 52 and then 52A, 52B?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And defense, you can move about if you need to.
And let's go to this 52A. You recognize that envelope,
Yes,
and is an envelope associated with this SAPD case number?
yes.
And what is contained inside of this envelope?
This contains a Blazer 9mm Luger live round.
And I see there's a pair of scissors to your right. Can you go ahead and cut that open to verify that? Just hold it down. It's not entered into evidence yet. Okay. All right. And if you want to leave that right there. And let's go to state exhibit number 52B. Can you go ahead and do you recognize this envelope?
Yes.
And what is it contained inside that envelope?
This contains a Blazer 9mm Luger spent casing.
And can you go ahead and open that to verify that? Okay. And put that to the side. And I see that there's another smaller envelope inside of that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, were these items collected from that vehicle that day?
Yes.
And do you recall where they were collected from?
The live round, well, they were both collected from the front driver floorboard.
Okay. And at this time, Your Honor, state will move into, or offer into evidence, state exhibit number 52, 52B, and 52A. Sorry, I said that out of order. 52A and 52B.
52A and B.
Yeah,
Oh, no objection.
sorry, it's 52, 52A, and 52B.
Any objections?
All right,
No, Judge.
all right.
All right, States Exhibit 52, 52A, and 52B are admitted without objection.
And may I just publish to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm gonna just go ahead and hold it up here. This is a shell casing that was collected from the floorboard of the driver's side of that vehicle. Is that correct?
Correct.
And this is a shell casing. And it was a 9mm casing?
9mm.
And then state exhibit number 52A, was this the live 9mm round that was found on the floorboard, very close to the spent shell casing?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to go through, I think it might be a better way to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what's been marked state exhibit number 34 through 51. You can please just look through those and tell me if you can identify them.
I'm sorry, did you say through 51?
Yes, Your Honor.
I recognize these are the photos I took that day.
Now, all these photos, are these the photos that were taken that day of the processing of this vehicle?
Yes.
And they fairly and accurately represent that day and the vehicle?
Yes, they
Uh,
did.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, the state would offer state exhibit number 34 through 51, Your Honor. Attended to defense earlier. We'll see if there's for any objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right, States Exhibit 34 through 51 is admitted without objection.
Thank you. And may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm gonna publish sort of out of order, Investigator Rodriguez, but this is State Exhibit number 38. What is that depicting?
That's the front driver floorboard.
And I don't necessarily have to zoom in because we have State Exhibit number 39 right behind it. Are those the two items that were just entered into evidence, State Exhibit number 52A and 52B?
Yes,
And those are the ones that were collected from that floorboard in that vehicle?
yes,
And State Exhibit number 40 is another just picture of those shell casings on that floorboard. Is that correct?
correct.
Now, when y'all are processing the vehicle, do y'all try to take pictures of the items as you see them before you move them?
Yes,
So that's where y'all found those items when y'all opened the doors and started looking at the vehicle. Is that correct?
correct.
Show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 53. Are you familiar with that envelope?
Yes.
And what is pertained in that envelope?
A name tag?
And can you please open that and tell me if that's what it does contain?
Yes, it contains the name tag.
And is it a name tag that was collected from this vehicle?
Yes,
And looking at State Exhibit number 48, 49, and 50, is that the same name tag that was collected from the seat of the vehicle that y'all processed that day?
yes,
And it was from the passenger seat, is that correct?
correct.
All right. And Your Honor, the state would offer State Exhibit number 53 into evidence.
No objection.
States Exhibit number 53 is admitted without objection.
The overhead projector, State Exhibit number 48, shows the front seat of that vehicle. And shows a name tag sort of in the crevice of that passenger seat. Is that correct?
Yes,
Is that same name tag that's State Exhibit number 53?
it is.
And what does it depict on here? State Exhibit number 49 is the same name tag, and then also State Exhibit number 50. The name on that name tag?
Tyler.
I'm going to show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 54. Can you please just tell me what is contained in that envelope?
That contains a Wells Fargo ATM card.
And can you please just open that and tell me if that's what it contains?
Contains one Wells Fargo ATM card.
And on State Exhibit number 51, is that the same card that was found on the floorboard on the passenger side of that vehicle?
Yes,
And that's the same exhibit, State Exhibit number 54?
yes.
Okay. Judge will offer State Exhibit number 54 into evidence.
May we approach Judge?
Yes. Exhibit number 54 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe I published to the jury.
Yes.
And that is the same card that was found on the floorboard of that vehicle that you processed on that day.
Yes.
And since I have state exhibit number 51 up, what is that a picture of on the floorboard next to the credit card?
It's an alcoholic beverage bottle.
Okay. And in fact, in your report, do you have it listed under as a empty brandy bottle?
Yes.
Thank you. Show you what's marked state exhibit number 55. Can you please just tell me what that is?
McDonald's receipt.
And can you please open it and verify if that is contained in there? And is that what is pertained in there?
Yes.
And on this receipt, this is something that was collected from that car, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you remember exactly where it was collected from?
The front passenger floorboard.
Front passenger floorboard. And does it have a date that is pertained to that?
It does.
Okay, and Your Honor, at this time, the state offers state exhibit number 55.
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit number 55 is admitted without objection.
And what's the date on that?
Date is 5/21/22.
Thank you. Also going to show you what's marked, sorry. State exhibit number 56. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
And what is contained in this envelope?
An insurance envelope.
Can you please go ahead and open that and tell me if that's what it is contained within? And is that what was collected from the vehicle that day?
Yes.
And Your Honor, the state would offer state exhibit number 56. Senator defense, any objection?
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit 56 is admitted without objection.
And these are, may I publish to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
These are documents related to insurance, is that correct?
Correct.
And in this envelope, inside this letter, it has individuals that are insured for certain vehicles, is that correct?
Yes.
And does it list a 2019 Nissan Rogue?
Yes.
And that it has an identification number, but who's the insured driver or one of the insured drivers on that?
Tyler Ashbaugh.
And then other people that are insured on several different vehicles on there, what are those other individuals' names?
Joseph Gonzalez, Norma Gonzalez.
And then also, is there a Lexus ES associated with this insurance?
Yes.
And then also a Nissan Sentra?
Yes.
And then also a Chevrolet El Camino?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, several envelopes of the next envelopes, in particular, state exhibit number 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and 63. What is contained in these envelopes?
These contain swabs.
I'm sorry?
Swabs.
And what are these?
Cotton swabs.
What are these cotton swabs?
They're samples of various areas in the vehicle.
Okay. And does it list the items that were swabbed?
Yes.
And can you tell me on state exhibit number 57, what items were swabbed?
I'd have to open it.
That's fine.
Actually, it doesn't, but it says on the report.
Okay, you can reference the report.
So E9 was taken from the front passenger headrest.
Front passenger headrest?
Yes.
And that was a swab for DNA. Tell the jury, explain to the jury how that is done, please.
So we use, basically they're giant Q-tips. We'll moisten them with distilled water. Then we swab the area for possible trace or DNA. Anywhere we suspect there may be evidence of that nature. And we take a swabbing of that area and it is packaged and sealed.
And so E9, I'm sorry, was taken from where?
E9 is front passenger headrest.
Okay, and that's state exhibit number 57. Let's go to state exhibit number 58. Can you tell the jury where those swabs were obtained from?
Those were from the front driver headrest.
Okay, and then state exhibit number 59, where were those swabs taken from?
The steering wheel,
Okay, and then state exhibit number 60,
the gear shift knob,
gear shift and knobs.
the gear shift knob,
Okay, and then state exhibit number 61,
13 would be the front driver door interior handles.
the interior of the front driver handle.
Yes,
Okay, state exhibit number 62,
that would be from the front passenger door handles, interior side.
interior of the front passenger door, and then state exhibit number 18.
18 was from the.
I'm sorry, number 63, I apologize, number 63,
63 is E18, which was swabbed from the brandy, the liquor bottle.
the brandy
The
liquor
bottle,
bottle.
yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, this time, state would offer state exhibit 57 through 63 into evidence. No objection.
All right, States Exhibit 57 through 63 is admitted without objection.
Thank you. Now, Investigator Rodriguez, I'm going to show you these pictures that have previously been entered. One, state exhibit number 34. Is this the vehicle that you processed with Detective Perez that day?
Yes,
And that's the license plate number of NVX0535
correct.
and state exhibit number 35. What does that show to the jury?
It's a side view of the driver's side of the vehicle, an overall view of the vehicle.
Does it show, I guess, anything lacking or damage to the vehicle?
It has a flat tire.
And then state exhibit number 36, what is this a view of?
The interior driver's side of the vehicle.
And roughly in this area right here is where the shell casings were found.
Yes,
State exhibit number 37. Looks like the center console, is that correct?
correct.
And is this that same name tag that was found from Circle K with the name Tyler on it?
Yes,
State exhibit number 41.
that's the another view of the driver's side of the vehicle, showing some damage to the liftgate area.
State exhibit number, and I guess this damage you're showing here, is that additional damage to that back window?
Yes,
I'm going to show you state exhibit number 42. That also show that back window is missing. Is that accurate?
yes,
State exhibit number 43. Does that show? Looks like that some more damage. Can you describe to the jury what that you're witnessing here?
looks like a scratch to the bumper.
And can you indicate about the tire here, this rear tire?
Yeah, there's a big glare.
That glare
It's
sort of
it's flat, but it's hard to see when it's flat.
Okay, so that would be the back tire and the front tire. And it looks like the front tire is missing
Yes,
portions of it anyway. But that's something that the damage on there, is that accurate to say?
yes, yes, sir.
State exhibit number 44. Investigator, if you look up there, it might be easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I know there's a glare on that.
Actually, this one works right here, but it's just farther and smaller, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the back of the vehicle.
And if you look here, if that window is shattered, is that right?
Yes,
And what is this like hanging down right here?
it looks like a glass held together with the tent
It's sometimes that glass is a portion of it.
or the rubber. I think it's the glass, though. It's kind of hard to tell.
Okay, thank you.
It's probably the glass.
I want to show you what's marked state exhibit number 45. Is that a view of the, I guess, sort of that back corner of that vehicle? and it shows a defect here. What does that indicate here?
It's a bullet hole.
I'm going to show you what's marked state exhibit number 46. And that's that same vehicle, but it looks like it has some type of stick or something there. Can you explain to the jury what we're looking at?
It's a wooden, we use those to show directionality, a flight path, if you will. It's just for demonstrative purposes, just to get an idea of the possible flight path of the projectile.
Of the projectile. So you're sort of indicating if a bullet, that's a bullet hole, that's where the bullet went.
Correct, and it just makes it easier to see as well.
And so I mean, in these type of instances, you need two different points, right?
Correct.
And I guess you have one in the middle here, and then also one in the middle on this white portion. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked city exhibit number 47. And that's a view from the vehicle on the other side, I believe. But what type of damage are we witnessing right there?
There is more bumper damage.
Bumper damage?
Kind of falling off the body, the frame.
Now, did y'all look for any projectiles, meaning bullets, in the vehicle?
We did.
Did y'all find any projectiles or bullets in the vehicle?
We did not.
Also, during your processing of this vehicle, did you try to collect fingerprints?
Yes.
And if you need to reference your report, go right ahead. But can you tell the jury where you tried to lift fingerprints from?
The doors, the front seating area.
Well, let's get a little bit more specific. What about the exterior of the vehicle? Did you investigate or try to lift prints from the exterior side of the passenger door?
Yes.
And what about the exterior of the front driver door handle?
Yes.
And then what about the exterior of the rear passenger door handle?
Yes.
And what about the rear mirror? Did you try to lift from there?
Yes.
And then this empty brandy bottle that was found on the front passenger floorboard, did you try to lift from there?
Yes.
Now, are you in charge of processing, say, let's talk about the fingerprints, since we just previously spoke about that. Are you in charge of trying to compare those to other people's fingerprints or anything?
No.
That's not your expertise.
No.
Is that somebody else that would be processing those to try to match them?
Yes, they're sent out to another unit.
Now, let's go back to these swabs that were taken from different items from the vehicle or different areas. Those are, I guess, what they're called swabs or biological swabs. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're trying to lift some type of biological material from that. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Are you in charge of processing those and trying to analyze and determine whether the DNA matches a certain individual?
No.
That's not not part of your expertise.
No.
Thank you, Investigator Rodriguez. We'll pass the witness.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Investigator Rodriguez, this vehicle was seized from a driveway on May 22nd, 2022, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Do you know what date it was seized on?
21st, the 22nd.
So it was seized on May 22nd, 2022.
Yes.
And from that date, or from that seizure, it went directly into police custody at that location. So those photos.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. You have no reason to believe there was any sort of unbroken chain of custody or anything like that.
Correct.
And now we saw on that driver's side floorboard, there was, you said one live round, correct?
Yes.
And one spent casing.
Yes.
And when you say one live round, that means it's an unfired bullet, correct?
Correct.
It's not a bullet that has already been fired.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Give me one. State's Exhibit 36. Zooming in. What does that appear to be on the driver's side floorboard?
It looks like that there looks like a lens to a pair of eyeglasses.
Okay. Was that collected as evidence?
No.
This might be easier if I approach.
Yes.
In State's Exhibit 51, we can see a liquor bottle, correct?
Correct.
Okay. On the back of that liquor bottle, can we see how many milliliters that bottle contains right there? Be a little bit difficult to see.
325 or 375.
Okay, so a total
I
of
see a 3 and a 5. I guess it could be a 7 or a 2 in the middle.
either 325 or 375.
Right.
But it's pretty small and hard to see in this photograph.
Yes.
Okay. Does this bottle appear to be completely empty?
It does.
Correct.
All right. Any further questions, State?
No, Your Honor, no question.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, from the state, Your Honor.
Yes, from the defense as well.
All right, if you'll make sure to leave the microphone behind and leave the exhibits with the court reporter. State, call your next witness. Great, thank you. Well, if you can raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give would be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record and keep your voice up so everyone can hear, please.
Hello, my name is Detective Matt Robles. I'm with the San Antonio Police Department. I've been on for 15 years.
All right, State, you may proceed.
Detective Robles, are you a certified peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
You stated you've been with the department for 15 years, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain to the jury the training that you underwent to become a law enforcement officer?
Yeah, I went through the San Antonio Police Department Police Academy. It was about 6 months and recertification every year, training every year with case law updates. So training never stops, but that's what.
And I'm assuming you went through the academy and the FTO program as well, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What is your current title and assignment with the San Antonio Police Department?
I'm a detective assigned to the covert unit. I'm an undercover detective.
Okay, and so when you say an undercover detective, does that mean that you operate in plainclothes and unmarked vehicles?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are your duties as a detective with the covert unit?
My duties are to conduct covert surveillance using plainclothes, unmarked vehicles. I do narcotics investigations, and we also conduct surveillance on fugitives, wanted fugitives, things like that.
Okay. And do you recall the SCPD case number that you were working on May 22nd of 2022?
I'm not familiar with the case number exactly, but I'm familiar with the case.
Okay. Did you prepare a report on the day that you were conducting your investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
Would it help you refresh your memory if you were able to review a copy of that?
Yes, ma'am.
And Jeff, maybe approach.
Yes.
To review that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is that?
It's a supplement report I wrote subsequent of the day in that case.
Okay, and it appears to be a fair and accurate copy of the report?
Yes.
All right, so can you let the jury know what the case number associated with the call you were working on May 22nd of 2022 was?
Yes, ma'am. The case number is going to be SAPD 22108229.
And on that day, were you with the covert unit as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you recall how you came assigned to that specific SAPD case number?
Yes, ma'am. I was given a message in the morning that an incident had occurred the night prior of an officer involved shooting, and we were requested to help conduct surveillance on multiple addresses that the suspect might be located at.
Okay, and so at that time when you are gonna go out, did you have suspect information and possible location information as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and so when you say conduct surveillance, can you just explain what that is to the jury?
So if we have a specific address that is being considered as a place where a suspect might be hiding or residing at, we'll sometimes set up in a unmarked vehicle, whether it be a pickup truck, a car, or some type of vehicle, and we will conduct just visual surveillance on it to kind of see who's coming or going, who's staying there, if there's any type of activity going on there.
Okay, and so on May 22nd of 2022, did you end up conducting surveillance at 12607 Judson Road, San Antonio, Texas 78233?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you just explain to the jury where or what you did when you made the location?
Yes, ma'am. So I had received information that there was an apartment that may be related somehow to the suspect we were looking for. I was given some information that there might be a particular apartment on the corner of a building that was of interest. So I made my way to that location and observed the building in question. So I backed into a parking spot. I remember it being next to like a trash compactor, where when I backed in, I could see the first floor, and I could see a breezeway to and from the building, where if somebody were to walk through, I could see them or observe which apartment they went into, or if they went upstairs or what have you. So I felt that that particular place was a good spot for me to set up a surveillance, what we call an eye, set up an eye there for that target.
Okay. And did you observe anything there at the location where you were specifically?
Yes, I did. So after some time had passed, I observed who I recognized to be the target we were looking for.
Okay, and do you know the name of that target?
A Padaratful?
And do you see him here in court today?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And would you please point to him and identify him by an article of clothing?
He's wearing a blue long sleeve shirt, tie, and some eyeglasses.
And so can you just explain the process of what happened after you observed the defendant there at the location?
So when we have surveillance on somebody, it's in everybody's best interest that we do what we would consider a takedown safely for both the suspect and for ourselves. So we have to wait for an opportunity that's mutually safe for both of them. And so I had observed the target walk out of his apartment, but he didn't get away from the door far enough for us to like swoop in and get him. So we didn't want to have any type of altercation in a type situation like that. So there were several times where he came outside where I could observe him. And so while we're conducting surveillance, we're planning a way to come in with marked uniforms and marked patrol cars, so that when he does get far enough away, we could swoop in and, using the element of surprise for his safety and for ours, get him into custody without any further incident. So that's what we were planning on doing. And once he made his way out towards the parking lot, that's when I radioed for the marked units to come in, and they were to quickly and with using the element of surprise, take him into custody, so that he was surprised he didn't even have an opportunity to run or to do something, or it would just be better for everybody. So.
Okay. And once the defendant was taken into custody, were you able to confirm that he was in fact Tyler Ashfall?
Yes, ma'am.
And this apartment complex that we're talking about, located on Judson Road, is that located in Bear County, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you wearing a body worn camera on this date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you confident to operate it on that date?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 64. Do you recognize that?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you tell me what that is?
It's a copy of my body worn camera, which I initialed with my badge number.
Okay, and you've reviewed it?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it a fair and accurate depiction of the events as they unfolded on the date that you were conducting your surveillance?
Yes.
Okay, and except to comply with legal rules, has it been altered to your knowledge in any way?
No.
I'm tendering State's Exhibit number 64 to defense and offering the same.
No objection.
All right, the parties approach. All right, State's Exhibit number 64 is admitted.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Granted.
And can you just explain to the jury what we're observing currently?
You're observing the view from my body worn camera. I think at this time I'm wearing a tactical vest. And I'm with my seat back, so you're kind of seeing up into the top of the vehicle, inside the vehicle.
Okay, and typically where do you wear your body worn camera?
Typically in the center of my body, on my vest.
And so we can see, I guess, what is this right here that we can see on the space exhibit?
That would be the breezeway, but the top, I think the top floor, the top of the building there.
Okay, so, and then we can tell that your car is backed in, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I've backed into a spot where I'm directly in front of the breezeway.
Okay. And so I fast forwarded into State's Exhibit number 64, about 37 minutes, and you're still in your vehicle. Are you conducting surveillance during this entire time?
Yes, surveillance can take a long time.
And so I'm playing State's Exhibit number 64. It's around 53 minutes and 28 seconds. Can you explain to the jury what they're seeing currently?
So the target came out the breezeway, but he got far enough away from the door where we had other detectives and officers come from the back of the breezeway, and we approached from the front, and we had the marked units in full uniform approach and take him into custody.
Okay, and we saw that some other officers on scene did have their firearms out. Why is that?
So oftentimes when a target sees police running at him, it's a scary thing. Oftentimes they try to either get rid of a weapon or sometimes they can return fire at an officer.
Okay, and also, I mean, you were conducting
Yeah, we were conducting surveillance on a suspect that we believed potentially had fired on officers before.
okay. We talked with this.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Detective Robles?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I got the title right.
Thank you.
When the decision was made to take Tyler into custody and he was apprehended, he did not resist arrest, correct?
No, he did not.
He didn't resist transportation.
I wasn't part of the transportation. I don't believe so.
Okay. He wasn't verbally aggressive with officers.
No, sir.
I believe in that video it showed you and other officers patting Tyler down.
Yes. Like, you mean like a search?
Patting him
type-
down, yes.
Yeah,
search.
correct, yes. Yes.
His pockets, his upper body, lower body, correct?
Yes, sir.
He did not have a firearm on
He
him.
did not.
He referred to you as sir, correct?
Yes, he was polite.
Okay. That's what it's.
No further questions and excuse by the state.
Excused.
Yes, Judge.
All right. You may step down if you'll leave the exhibit behind with the court reporter, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is all the evidence that you're going to hear for today. Please remember my instructions. You're not allowed to view anything about this case. You're not allowed to start thinking about this case outside the courtroom. Don't do any research. Everything that you need to know about this case is to come All right, you all still are slow on that. We're gonna pretend like I didn't say anything. Everything that you need to know about this case is to come from. All right, so we're gonna start tomorrow at 9:30. You don't have to worry about as many people taking up parking space because there have been no other jurors called up for Friday. And usually there are no jurors ordered on Friday. And I haven't heard of a judge who ordered jurors for this Friday. So if you arrive at 9, you should have a parking space. All right, everyone, please rise for the jurors.